This is a recap for Tuesday, January 5th. So I thought what I would do today is we did a group activity with Quiz Ease today, and we also had some examples. So I think I'll do a couple of the examples similar to what we did in class today, and then I'm going to do a couple of problems from cards 2 and 3. So I will reveal a couple of these answers for you. So let's go to my whiteboard, and we did problems that looked kind of like this today. We actually had somebody think of a number between 1 and 10, so we just limited ourselves to smaller numbers today. And so I had them think of the number, but not tell me, and then multiply the number times 10, and then maybe add 6. So if they said 66, then we would undo that by subtracting 6. And I said that this, when we do it right here, 66 minus 6 is 60. That's to find the number. On this side, when we do it, it is to keep track to make sure that we have done our steps correctly. So we don't mathematically have to do this side, but we are going to because it keeps track and it's an accounting, and you're going to get into problems where that's going to be necessary. So I just put a check mark there, like, yep, we did that correctly. So 10 times our missing number is equal to 60. And then if we divide by 10, that undoes, that's the inverse of multiplying by 10 is dividing by 10. So then the original number must have been 6. And I also asked students to think of a number that's, let's say, a multiple of 10. And so let's say that our variable was n. And I said, take that number and divide it by 10, and then subtract 12. So let's say that somebody said, well, I've got -4 after I did those two steps. Then what we would do would be to add 12, and we would get 8, and then we'd have just one step to undo, which is to divide by 10, and we'd multiply by 10. That's the inverse of dividing by 10, and so our original number would have been 80. So when I said think of a number that's a multiple of 10, 80 is a multiple of 10. So that was the process that we went through in class, and then we spent the rest of the time in a group breakout rooms doing quizzes, solving equations. So I'm just going to do a couple of these. So I'm going to choose 3 of them. And I'm going to write them down and then put them on my whiteboard so you can see them. So I'm going to do G, which is 9 minus x equals 4. And I'm going to do N, which is -1/2 times x plus 3. And I'm going to do K, which is -3 equals x minus 7 divided by 6. So, and then we're going to check those answers. So I'm going to pull this back out so I have room to work. And my first one is going to be 9 minus y, or excuse me, x. I don't remember if it's an x or a y, it's just a variable, is equal to 4. So this is one that is commonly missed because students forget that subtraction has to go left to right. This is not -9, this is a +9. And so I'm going to subtract 9. So -x equals -5. And there really is a 1 right here. we just don't write it, but it really means negative 1 times x. So we're going to divide by negative 1, divide this by negative 1. So x is equal to 5. And that is G. So in my notes, I'm going to write for G 5. And on the next card, we're going to connect those. And so this is G. Next one is negative 1/2 x plus 3. And I forgot to write down the rest of it, so we're just going to go back here and look at n is equal to 10. All right, equals 10. So I'm going to subtract 3 to undo that. So negative 1/2 times a number equals 7. I'm going to divide by negative 1/2. Divide by negative 1/2. So this cancels. That's just 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. So x is equal to whatever this result is. And I'm just going to go over to the side. 7 over 1 divided by negative 1/2 is the same as 7 times its reciprocal, which is negative 2 over 1. And so that's equal to negative 14. So I'm going to write for n negative 14, and we'll match that one up. And then, so that is n. And then the last one okay, and then the last one I did was k, and it is negative 3 equals parentheses x minus 7, a number minus 7, divided by 6. So what these parentheses do, and it wasn't in, I added the parentheses, it really is like this, but this line acts like parentheses. It says that we're going to reverse the normal operation. Instead of adding 7, we're going to multiply by 6. So we're going to do negative 3 times 6, and we're going to do x minus 7 divided by 6 times 6. And that cancels that out to a 1. So now we have negative 18 equals a number minus 7. So to undo that, we add 7. And the difference between 18 and 7 is 11, and there's more negative. So we're going to write down for the k, we're going to look for a negative 11. So we're going to look for a 5, a negative 14, and a negative 11. So we go to the next page, and we would then, what you guys can do, you have a tool on there where you can write. I don't have that tool, so I'm just going to pull out my pencil. And I'm going to go to G and connect it with the 5. And maybe I'll pick another color. Let's go with sky blue. And I'm going to find N. And I'm going to find the negative 14. And perfect. We've found a mistake, and we're going to see if we can fix that mistake. All right, so there is no negative 14. There is a positive 14, so we're going to leave this as a bit of a question mark. And, whoops, there we go. Here, let's erase that. Okay, I'm noticing that there is a 14, and either there is a mistake on my answer key, or I've made a mistake in my work, so we're going to redo it. And then for k, we're going to look for negative 11. So I'm going to go back to my pencil, and maybe we'll get red and switch it to pencil, and switch it to red. There we go. All right, in K, we're looking for a negative 11. And there it is right there. So we connect those. I used the highlighter, that's all right. Okay, so let's go to the previous page and see what's going on with that. Let's go back here and let's look and see what's going on with N. Maybe I wrote something down incorrectly, or maybe there's a mistake in the answer key. So N, I'm actually going to solve it right here. Let's go right here where I can see it. Okay. So this is negative 1/2 x plus 3 equals 10. So I'm going to subtract 3. So negative 1/2 x equals 7. And I multiply by negative 2. So x is equal to negative 14. So I am pretty sure that my mistake is on the answer key. So if you're watching this, you found out about one of the errors, one of the mistakes. So here's how we check it. Here is exactly what we do. We put it in right there for that x. So let's try it. Negative 1/2 times negative 14 plus 3 should equal 10. Negative 1/2, negative times negative is positive. Half of 14 is 7. 7 plus 3 is 10. So the answer should be negative. So I did this very carefully when I made it, but it's always possible to make errors, and I just double checked. So I believe that this right here should be a negative 14. So it'll be interesting to see if any of you caught that mistake. And that's how you check your work. So that is a recap for Tuesday, January 5th.